I'm Farah Duro, and you're listening to the PCOS Revolution podcast. Hey there, everyone, and welcome back to the PCOS Revolution podcast. I was away actually this past week, and we actually went camping, which was so much fun. So I did miss you guys all last week, but I wanted to jump back in today, and I had some time to think during our camping trip about what we haven't really focused on so much during this podcast, but which is so immensely important, and that is the topic of self-care. So I've actually been doing these little PCOS mini retreats from the comfort of my own home, and I thought that I would let you guys in on my little secret to really help me keep my PCOS symptoms in remission these past few years, and really tell you how it's been such a lifesaver when trying to balance having a full practice and being a mom and stepmom to 4 amazing preteens. So it's hectic, stressful, but I love it, and I think that you might find this very helpful. So today we're going to talk about how to create your own PCOS mini retreat ritual from home, and I'm really excited because this is something you can just do anytime, that you can carve out space in your life. And I have to say that I'm a little bit hesitant to share this, but those of you who know me know this is true. And if my mom's listening right now, she's really nodding her head and going, yep. But I am a recovering workaholic, and one of the biggest challenges that I've faced besides having PCOS has been to say no to things that take away time from my health goals and my family. And a few years ago, I made the bold decision to reduce the time I was spending seeing patients in my office in order to spend more time with my kids and be able to have a little extra time to devote towards my own health. And I'm very fortunate to have an amazing husband who is extremely supportive of my need for self-care, and a tremendous staff at Florida Complete Wellness who take care of our patients just like they would their own family. From the moment you walk into our office, you know that you're supported. So I just want to share this with you guys. I'm excited to share my self-care routine, and I've actually turned it into, like I mentioned, a PCOS mini retreat when I have a little extra time once or even twice per month if I'm lucky. That's easy to do in the comfort of your own home. And I really believe that it's taken my stress level down a few notches, and I always feel so refreshed and energized the rest of the week when I implement it. So I would love for you just to block out a day during the month, and maybe you even call in a sick day or to work, or make it a personal day, and take time to create your own private PCOS mini retreat without even stepping on a plane or checking into a day spa. But if you want to go a step further and check yourself into a resort because you just can't get any time to yourself otherwise, then definitely go for it. Either way, I encourage you to give it a try. Okay, so I won't keep you waiting. Here's how I create my own PCOS mini retreat from home. I'll take you through my schedule, and then you can actually pick and choose the things that you would like to implement, and I really encourage you to give it a try yourself. Okay, so I start prepping the day before by making sure I planned out all my meals and my family's meals for the next day, and I get any shopping done that I might need. Now, if you're like me and meal prepping is not your strong suit, I encourage you to listen to season 4, episode 6 on confronting my weakest link. And you guessed it, meal prep. I made a whole episode out of that, and I share my tips on how I overcame my fear of meal prep and how I started implementing that. So if you need a refresher, you can go back and listen to that episode first before you start your mini retreat. And so that's what I do the day before. Now, the night before, I turn off all electronics by 8 p.m. and I sink into a warm bath with essential oils and Epsom salt, and I sip some chamomile tea if needed, and I just really decompress. I like to turn off notifications actually for Facebook, or even delete Facebook and Instagram for at least that day and the day what's to come, because even if you delete notifications, the fact is sometimes if you do use your phone for work and that sort of thing, you're just looking at those apps and it's more tempting to open them up. So I just delete them actually. And sleep is such a biggie. So to prepare for this day, I try to get as much rest as I can. And the problem is that a lot of us are just going through the day tired and worn out due to insufficient sleep. But as women with PCOS, sleep is especially important, and here's why. So we all know that we need enough sleep. But did you know, and this is actually from Disease Proof by David Katz, MD, that inadequate slumber over extended periods of time may also interfere with immune function, including the proper production of white cells and hormonal regulation, which is why insufficient sleep is linked with chronically elevated levels of stress hormone cortisol. And we know that what that does, it can lead to impaired immunity and elevated levels of hormones such as insulin, increasing the risk of gaining body fat, most often in the midsection, and of developing systemic inflammation and type 2 diabetes. It also leads to changes in the hormones leptin and ghrelin, which regulate hunger and satiety. This is what sleep does, everyone. And women with PCOS have a 1 in 2 chance of developing type 2 diabetes by the age of 40. I've already reached 40, guys, so I have to sleep. That's just part of my self-care. I have to do it. And so that's part of what I do every day, but definitely in prep for my mini retreat, I make sure I go to bed by 9:30. When we're talking about sleep, I want you to just pause just for a moment before we get to the retreat day and ask yourself, how is your sleep? And if you've tried several things with no improvement, it would probably be worthwhile to have your hormone levels checked by somebody that specializes in this field. And many times a doctor of Oriental medicine or functional medical doctor can do this for you, and they'll get you on the right course to sleeping better and feeling better. Now, for many women with PCOS, myself including, just by eating healthier, I find that they're sleeping better. And if you add exercise to the mix, it can help even more. So as a bonus for this week's episode, I'd like to invite you to grab my special sleep handout that I give my patients, and that's available as a free download for this episode. So just go to the show notes for this podcast and type in your name and email in the field, the link that says our special sleep bonus, and you can receive the handout. And you'll also get notified whenever I release a new episode of this podcast, and you're going to receive my top 15 recommendations on how to improve your sleep. So adopting habits that can create quality sleep can definitely change your life, and that's why I've included that for you. Okay, so after a restful night's sleep, it's time to start my PCOS mini retreat. All right, so in the morning, I wake up and hydrate, and I eat a protein-based breakfast, and I include a little bit of detox herbs in there. So this is what this looks like. I start my day first thing in the morning, and before anything else, especially drinking coffee, I start with a large glass of fresh water to rehydrate my body and my brain after the night's fast. And you'll be surprised how awake you feel when your brain gets watered. It's crazy, right? So I continue to drink water regularly throughout the day, and the recommendations vary on the quantity of water we need, but drinking half your body weight in water per day is the ideal. So think about it like a 250-pound man has a lot more muscle mass, bone mass, and tissue mass, and a lot more cells to hydrate than a 120-pound woman or a 6-year-old child. So if you weigh 160 pounds, aim for approximately 80 ounces of water per day. Now, if that sounds like a whole lot and you haven't been drinking much water, you can start gradually and then aim for half of that amount to start with and increase it as you can. Now, if you don't like water and you just don't like the taste of it, consider adding some real fruit to your water, like limes, lemons, and grapefruit. Those are all amazing additions to your glass of water. And I like to add an electrolyte tablet the morning of the cleanse called Noon. It's spelled N-U-U-N, and it helps with flavor and also can help with hydration. And it doesn't have any sugar. So you can either put lemon or lime slices in your water or squeeze some lemon, lime, or grapefruit juice in your glass, or you can add the Noon like I do, and it's refreshing and delish. So just give it a try. Now, the easiest way for me to remember to drink more water throughout the day, and not only in our mini retreat day, but just throughout the day in general, is to always have a full water bottle with me at my desk, in my kitchen, in my car. I bring it everywhere. Honestly, it's like my security blanket, but it's my water bottle. So that's really important. And a great app called Water Your Body. It's an easy to use and fun way to track your personally recommended amount of water. Now, after answering a few questions like your current weight and activity level, the app calculates the water you need. And you can set timer reminders to help you remember. And it's kind of cool because you win trophies for consistency. So that's just a little aside, but it's something helpful. And after I hydrate, I eat a protein-based breakfast. And ideally, I have a meal that includes protein, carbs, and fat in whole food form. And this keeps me full longer and helps me sustain my energy. And this is so important because I notice when I skip breakfast, I'll usually end up consuming more calories throughout the day. And your body needs a certain amount of calories to function optimally. So if by the end of the day, I haven't consumed what my body needs, I'll end up with those later afternoon or evening snack attacks. And those are miserable, right? So to really bring this home, I once read this quote by Diane Whelan, who wrote The Complete Idiot's Guide to Eating Clean, in which she said, eating breakfast also does wonders for your weight. In fact, if you're trying to lose weight, eating breakfast is one way to do it. And it's the most important way. And why? It prevents you from noshing on high-calorie snacks or overeating later in the day. And not only are breakfast eaters leaner than those who opt to skip this meal, but they generally eat fewer total calories per day. So I always stress this with my patients, and this is the one thing I also do as well every morning, and not just on retreat days. So along with my mini retreat breakfast, which usually includes eggs, veggies, and herbs, with a greens drink called Greens First that I drink, I throw in a few cleansing herbs and key daily supplements. So for those of you who are curious about which herbs I like to implement for my mini retreat, I will let you guys in on a quick little combination that is called Liver GI Detox by Pure Encapsulations. It's something that I recommend for a lot of patients who are trying to conceive as well, but just to kind of clear the body and prepare for a healthy pregnancy. And also, we've had really good success with it for weight loss. So I like to try my little mini cleanse of Liver GI Detox, which is basically just 2 capsules. And of course, you want to check with your doctor if you want to start anything like this. But I implement the Liver GI Detox capsules into my routine, usually for about a month at a time, and I do this a couple times a year. So as part of my mini retreat for the day, I'm going to take my Liver GI Detox capsules, and those contain ingredients such as amino acids, glycine, taurine, and I also have, like herbs like milk thistle in that, and a little combination there that it comes with that helps support detoxification pathways in the liver. And so I take that with my greens drink, and then I take my Pure One multivitamin, which is also from the Pure Encapsulations, the same company, and that has a D and CoQ10 and all kinds of good antioxidants in it, vitamin C, and B vitamins, definitely B6 and B12. And so I take that along with Omeprim, which is our omega-3 that we use in our office, but also I've been using it for years, and it's from green lip mussel, so it's very easy to swallow. So I have that as my daily regimen as far as the Pure One multi and the Omeprim. And then on the cleanse or the retreat days, I add the Liver GI Detox. So after my little supplement and my cleansing herbs I take with my breakfast, I go for a brisk walk with my dogs around my neighborhood, and I listen to my favorite podcast or audiobook for about 30 to 45 minutes. And being in South Florida, it can get pretty hot here and rainy a lot of times in the summer. So if the weather's not cooperating, I do about a 45 to 60 minute workout at home. It's a very light workout, and this is a retreat day, but I still want to kind of get my energy level up. And I do favor Pure Barre or a power yoga on-demand sort of workout. And since I don't have to leave the house, it's, I don't have to drive to a class and that sort of thing. That's something that I really like to do. And it just works around my schedule a lot more easier. So so I really get that in. And, really why, as most of you know, any exercise or physical activity that gets the heart rate up and the blood flowing and releases endorphins is going to raise your energy level. And, good cardiovascular exercises strengthen your heart and give you more stamina in the days that come. And one of the benefits of our little mini retreat day is the energy that you have after. Even for weeks to come, sometimes I feel so much better. So after my workout, I disable social media notifications, delete apps if I need to, turn off my any other news notifications, anything like that on my computer and my phone. And I take a moment to sink into a 15 to 20 minute meditation session to help my brain unwind from the stress of the past few weeks and really get into retreat mode. This is so key. And if you haven't heard our mindfulness episode on this podcast, I really think it's something to listen to if you're new to meditation or mindfulness. And it's with Sarah Clark, and it's to me one of my most favorite episodes. So I like to start with, I started actually backing up. I started doing occasional meditation in my yoga class that I would take, and then I really started implementing it regularly into my daily routine, just for like 15-20 minutes a day. And it's made a huge difference in reducing hamster wheel brain, as I like to lovingly refer to it. And if you have PCOS, you know what hamster wheel brain is. You know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like not getting that, the thoughts to calm and slow a little bit. We never will stop thinking. We'll always have thoughts coming in, but I definitely feel like there's a way you can kind of slow that crazy hamster wheel brain down. And, it's also made me a more patient and kind doctor and mom and spouse, in my opinion. So I definitely, that's one of my most favorite parts of this retreat day, is to really implement that. So far we've hydrated and we've eaten a really nice breakfast and gotten our supplements in and a little walk or real gentle exercise. And at this point I'm feeling pretty good, so but a little bit sweaty. So I go and take a shower with dry brushing. And if you have never dry brushed before, it's basically like a bath bristle or brush you can get from Bed Bath & Beyond or that sort of thing, or Whole Foods. And I like to just drop in some grapefruit oil and bergamot, some essential oils, into the brush and start by brushing towards my heart. And that includes all the lymph nodes underneath the arms and inguinal area, all that area in the shower. And just take a cool, not too hot, but just like a cool shower with that. And sometimes I'll add some oils to my hair as well. But very gentle dry brushing, and just take the time to do that. And apply coconut oil after the shower. And sometimes I'll use a blend, like I found a doTERRA blend that I absolutely love called Whisper. And thank you, Lene, for turning me onto that, who did our Essential Oil podcast episode. I feel like I'm mentioning all these past podcast episodes, and it's like they all contribute to our retreat so nicely. So just, grapefruit is actually good for detoxification and also good for cellulite, that sort of thing. So that's a really nice essential oil to include in the dry brushing. You can also use a little, like a drop of that in your water when you're hydrating as well. So basically, I take a little moment to do that. On the days where my energy is a bit low, I might actually even do my own acupuncture treatment. So honestly, if you're not an acupuncturist, I don't recommend that, but you could do some acupressure points after your shower. And there are some really great acupuncture points that you can research on how to balance your hormones or just for relaxation in general. So there's some really good points you can do, such as spleen 6, liver 3, just very good hormone balancing points. and just taking a few minutes, after the shower to do that. So we've had our, a shower, and then also acupressure session if you want to do that. And, if you really want to go all out, you can call in a massage. This is wonderful. If you have a massage therapist who can come to your house and you can really get a nice soothing massage, that's something that I haven't really incorporated yet into my retreat, but I think that I'd like to do that. We definitely have that in our office that we, implement before our acupuncture treatments. So a lot of our patients will get a 30-minute massage and then an acupuncture session, which to me is like peanut butter and jelly. It's amazing and super relaxing. So if you've not done that, that might be something. Or you could actually have someone come over to do your nails and just pamper yourself. Now these are optional things, but it kind of adds to the retreat sort of setting if you can do that. So after our little pampering session, we eat our healthy lunch that we prepared the night before. So again, we didn't have to cook today. We already had all that prepped. And then, following that, I usually kind of wrap that up with just reading that I'd like to do for fun, that I don't usually get to do. So either reading a fiction book or something that kind of like puts my mind a little bit at ease. So that in a nutshell is my mini retreat. And sometimes that's going to be, just a few hours. Sometimes I could extend that a little longer if I wanted to. But that is my PCOS mini retreat. And, at night, we definitely want to, eat a light dinner because, we haven't had a whole lot of cardio or the different activity and that sort of thing. We've just been in rest mode, and, follow that with some light stretching or mini yoga sessions. So this is something that I really think if you don't feel rejuvenated after your mini retreat session and you continue to struggle with low energy, but you can't figure out why, you shouldn't feel like you should just have to live with this, and low energy or low libido, those sort of things. That's something we hear every day, a lot of times from patients coming in wanting to address their PCOS symptoms. So by seeing a doctor that specializes in this area, you can probably figure out the cause and be on the road to feeling better for sure. And a lot of times it's, it could be adrenal issues or thyroid or some subtle hormonal imbalances that we can definitely usually pinpoint. There's many causes of fatigue, and when we look at functional medicine, which I'm obviously a big fan of because we look at the root cause of problems rather than looking just to treat symptoms, it's so enlightening. And there's also great oriental medicine and naturopathic doctors that deal with women's health issues. So I would recommend finding someone in your area that best fits your needs that can help you. And that's one of the great advantages of doing your own retreat day. You can really tune in to what's going on with your body. And so there you have it. That's my mini retreat day when I want to pamper myself and feel amazing for the rest of the week. And be sure to go back and listen again if you feel like you are wanting to add any of these things and implement them to your week. So when you're ready to implement this, here's a few tips. So I'd really encourage you to disconnect from social media and news notifications, or better yet, just delete the apps for a day. Next, take time to eat, drink lots of water, get some fresh air, take walks, and get 7 to 8 hours of sleep the night before. And let your family know that this time away will be focused on you and that you will not be available much through the morning or afternoon that you choose to plan your mini retreat. Now, it's very important to limit distractions in order to give your body the rest it deserves, and by stating this up front, you'll make sure that no one at home is feeling neglected. Repeat your mini retreat day on a regular basis. So what do you think? Are you ready to implement this and give your body and your brain the rest it needs and rejuvenation? I hope you said yes, because this is an investment in your health you won't regret. So if you've decided to go for it, let me know on Instagram. You can DM me, and I just want to know if you've implemented it also, how you felt. And you can also go onto our Facebook page at the PCOS Revolution. Also, if you've enjoyed listening to this episode, you have to check out the PCOS Revolution Academy 90-Day Reset, where we go through all of these topics in an easy to follow, totally online, step-by-step process so you can stop giving PCOS the upper hand. Join me over at thepcosrevolution.com to find out more about how you can sign up and also get access to some very cool freebies that I've created for you. I'd love to have you join me inside of the Academy. See you there and have a wonderful week. And that's the end of this episode of the PCOS Revolution podcast. If you've enjoyed the show and want to help me spread the word about how women with PCOS and hormonal imbalances can lead happier, more healthier lives, please head over to iTunes and leave us a review. They really do make a difference. If you'd like to have a question answered on the show or would like to recommend a guest, please go to floridacompletewellness.com/podcast. If you're on social media, you can follow me at facebook.com/FloridaCompleteWellness and twitter.com/FloridaComplete, where I post a lot of interesting research, webinars, and articles on our blog about really getting to the root of hormonal imbalances like PCOS. So it's a great way to stay in touch with the latest developments. Thanks so much for listening and see you soon.